Good morning, Eagles, and thanks for tuning in. As you know, it's Feedback February in the Tea Room, and today we're featuring Brian Plinsky and Whitney Walsh. They're going to share a little bit about how they utilize peer-to-peer feedback in their classes. Whitney uses peer-to-peer feedback as a strategy to expedite the FRQ grading process, and Brian uses peer-to-peer feedback to get his kids reading, thinking, and talking to one another.
Well, I choose peer feedback. I got the idea originally from Kate Kiefer and what she had done with AP Lit. But the reason why we choose peer feedback is because it checks off a number of boxes. First of all, holds the students accountable for reading their peers' writing, that they have to, at least every time that they do it, read 4 and 5 and 6 samples of essays. And so the more that they read, the better they're going to be able to identify the mistakes on their own papers. Also, critical thinking is if they can find and identify flaws and or positives with other students' writings, we're hoping that there's going to be transference and they'll be able to take those lessons and use it in their own writing. I really do think this method is effective. It takes a good long while for the students to get comfortable with it. They absolutely despise it when we first start, but as the year goes on and they've gotten comfortable with it and we've created that culture where it's not a gotcha, then the students really do respond to it, that they can see that other students are making the same mistakes that they make and they feel more comfortable. They can celebrate each other's successes, and it's really heartening to see when students are not going to pile on to another student's errors, that they really do try and provide positive feedback so that the other kids can improve. It's a process. It is, when we first start, we have a checklist and I go through and I make sure that everyone is participating, and we award points for that. And their feedback at the beginning isn't nearly what their feedback is at the end. So through constant coaching, through constant comments about the quality of their feedback, about some prompting before the feedback even begins, what we want to see this time around, the feedback is miles apart from where they begin.
So I use peer-to-peer feedback mostly in my AP class. When grading FRQs, they have a clearly defined rubric that they can look at and then analyze their work or their peers' work. I use peer-to-peer feedback for a lot of reasons, one of which is to save time. I usually assign 2 FRQs for every unit test that my students take, and so for one of the FRQs, I have them do peer-to-peer feedback. It also gives them an opportunity to look and analyze the rubric, understand the material a little bit better, where maybe they went wrong as well as where their peers made mistakes, but then I end up grading one of the FRQs, so it saves me a little bit of time in class as well as on the grading side, and they're still getting a lot of feedback from a variety of places.
Thanks for watching, Eagles. We'd love to hear how you use peer-to-peer feedback in your classes. If you have any questions or you'd like to brainstorm ideas for your classroom, we'll see you in the tea room.